My name's Karen Mitchell. This is my spinal immobilisation for the exemplar video for PA 4400, which is the trauma environmental module. So we're just looking at the contemporary management of a patient with a spinal injury. We've done a bit of preparation to have this patient ready to go. So it's your typical presentation of a conscious or unconscious patient who's requiring spinal immobilisation. A few things to be said. This is your typical longboard. It's hard, it's plastic, it's slippery and it's cold. Great extrication device. A reasonable amount of immobilisation, but it comes with inherent problems. One of the problems is it's slippery. Patient can move quite easily on this board. We'll strap them shortly. And the other thing is it provides pressure points on the patient. So the back of the head, their shoulders, their buttocks, their heels, the broken foot, anywhere where the patient is laying and crushing their body with their own body weight, potentially is going to cause some tissue perfusion problems, even necrosis. In a conscious patient, they'll tend to move around to relieve themselves of the discomfort. Unconscious patient lay still and the injury can occur. A typical patient has a collar already in situ which must fit well. A lot of controversy with the side effects of collars or potential detrimental effects like a raise in intracranial pressure or vascular return being impeded. Look, it's got to fit as it's designed to fit. There's plenty of literature out there how to fit a collar, but if it doesn't fit well, don't use it. I've got these straps ready to go to save a bit of time. Padded the back of the head. I've put a blanket on the board to provide a bit of warmth and a bit of padding. It's not a lot, it's better than nothing. One of the worksheets says put an air splint under the lumbar spine, blow it up to a comfort level. We don't actually have that. You could roll a soft towel under there. The only problem is once it's in there, it's going to be difficult to remove. So these should have had a full head-to-toe secondary survey after their primary survey. Any injuries should have been identified and monitoring should be on, intravenous access should have been obtained. Once a person is packaged, it's a lot harder to get hold of them. Recommended routine for the management of the head is manual stabilisation and then support with 2 towel rolls, believe it or not, and a bit of tape. They prefer sleek or transport tape. Transport's not really tough. They're saying push against here, tape just over their eyebrows, push. Personally, I don't find it an adequate system. Not many of us use it. You can see it pivots around a lot. Others have gone to a slightly different approach, using another blanket as a blanket roll. So we take a blanket, it's folded like this. Your partner would hold the patient's head, blanket goes in. Towel can be added to add extra padding to get neutral alignment. It's quite neutral yet. Just think someone's holding its head. Take the edge of the blanket, roll it, and then you can continue to stabilise the head if you choose to manually. You can rest your hands quite comfortably on that towel. It's wedged under the patient so it's not sliding around. Sorry, that's a blanket, not a towel. So manual stabilisation works. In the patient who's compliant, who's happy to lay still, you can use a bit of tape if you want. Just as a reminder, it's still more stable than the towels. I find in a patient who lays still, I'm reluctant to take them, as long as they're conscious, compliant, not affected by alcohol. In a patient who was unconscious, and I was concerned, your two options are manual stabilisation, or I would probably tape those people. That you could roll a person on a spine board if they needed to vomit. I'll demonstrate you can, but it's more than a one-person procedure. It's difficult in the back of the truck. Attempted to lift this person by themselves and tip them over. Even though these straps are tight, you can see there is still some movement. And I really think it's not too bad, but you would be still better to have a person to come and stabilise his head. If we're going to protect for a secondary injury, we want to do it well. Do a secondary survey once the patient's on the bed, strapped up, which would be a reassessment survey because you would have done one already. Be mindful as you go from your head down to your feet. There's a few areas you can't access anymore. You can't get to their back because they're supine. It's hard to slide under the person who's strapped onto the board. You can't get around to the back of their neck. So, you can more or less see around these straps, but you can't see everything. You may need to remove a strap or loosen it to have a decent look, or have a listen with your stethoscope, and then reapply the strap. And you would work down the whole body with that in mind. But it still works okay. You just got to be very mindful of the vacuum mattress. There's a polystyrene beans inside this bag, and the principle is that you suck the air out and the bag is conformed around the person. You do not roll this under a person. You pop them on a scoop or at a scene and lower them on, remove the scoop. Or at the hospital they are slid onto this using a pat slide. This is primarily used in Aeromed. We don't have these on road. They can be used on road. In services, there's different models around there. It's worth having a look around. The mattresses are cold. It's good to have a blanket underneath, pad their head, get your monitoring on, make sure your survey is good. Before you start, they're quite confined once they're in this mattress. Make sure you've got intravenous access and everything is well strapped down. And as you can see, why the mattress is flat, you've got good access to your patient from head to toe, around these straps which are loosely applied. Head to toe examination of these patients, you can actually see quite well down them. You can expose the chest more by undoing these straps, and the mattress still provides a high level of support, which is fantastic. And you can do the strap back up if you require. So I think the access to the frontal plane of the patient is much better. The head, you can only really see the face. You can get around the back of the head just around the packaging itself. I don't think it's a bigger disadvantage. This should have been done at the scene, and any time the patient's removed from the mattress in different legs of transport, a thorough assessment can be redone. As long as you can see what's going on, keep an eye on your monitors, you should be right with this, with a person in here. Remember, with your conscious patient, lots of reassurance, good management, chemical management of their problems, as well as psychological support. They may feel a bit cocooned, they may feel a bit crushed in by this mattress. It's got some good advantages. If someone vomits, you can tip them a lot better. I'd still have someone stabilise the head, but they feel more stable. It's easy to move this mattress around. The handles make it suitable to slide across to a hospital bed, as you can see, slides quite well. And you can also secure this to the bed through the handles, which helps stop some of the movement of the mattress on the bed, which is a bonus. And you'll probably even find, if required, that these straps fit a lot better over the patient's shoulders. where on the spine board, if you had the spine board here, these straps really can't come up and over their shoulders. So it does make it much easier to secure to the bed. They're not, this one particularly is not designed to carry. I believe there are other ones on the market, more handles, more designed to carry. Some of them can be a bit fragile, they can be easy to punch, they can be hard to clean. This one's a bit of an easy clean surface and quite tough. But there's different models out there, it's what suits your requirements. Another advantage the vacuum mattress has, it's easy to deflate. You could leave a patient on this, loosen the straps, deflate the mattress to get more access to the sides of the patient. Quite simply, have someone stabilise the head, just pretend that's them, depress the valve, and you can see deflates quite quickly. Straps are quick, easy to apply, just undo, easy to remove and easy to apply again. I find just undoing them down one side makes that a simple manoeuvre. And as you can see, your patient's pretty well exposed, easy to get on and off, simple manoeuvre, much better.